Assalamu alaikum, welcome to UrbanDuniya. I'm Tim Blight. Now, some time ago I was given the opportunity to write a guest post for a friend's blog. My friend is Anna Johnston. She runs her blog Shenanigans. You can check that out at the website, which is on your screen at the moment. And she runs a blog regarding food and travel and hospitality and coffee and so on. And she gave me the opportunity to write a guest post for her blog regarding one of my favorite dishes, biryani. Now, my post was called Journeys in the Land of Biryani, and it explains how my travels in the subcontinent have largely been reflected in the different biryani that I have tasted in different parts of the subcontinent. And I think it's really interesting to see the way that food reflects a culture, or that the nation or the land itself is somehow embodied by the food that you eat in different cities that you go to. And I felt that this was very well reflected by biryani. The first place where I tasted biryani was at Sur, which is a small fishing village in Oman, in the Arabian Peninsula. And it was actually in a Pakistani expat's canteen. And it was fish biryani. I wish I still had pictures of it, but unfortunately I don't. But it was fish biryani, and it was very spicy. It was very tasty, and it was in some ways, and I knew this at the time, it was a taste of things to come, because after Oman I went to Dubai and then on to Karachi in Pakistan, which was my first city in the subcontinent. By the time I got to Karachi, I had developed a taste for biryani. And the biryani in Karachi is said to be the best in Pakistan. I have to agree, but it's very spicy. The rice is very fluffy. But what distinguishes it from biryani in other areas is the spice, the amount of spice in it. It can be very, very spicy, and in some ways this reflects the spicy, tough streets of Karachi, which is known to be a very tough city. After that, I came back to Australia, and a couple of years later I tasted Mumbai or Bombay style biryani from a colleague of mine. I don't know if you're watching this, Andrea. And Andrea's mother, who is from Mumbai, actually made that biryani for the family, and Andrea brought some of that to work for me to taste. And it was different. It was very earthy. It was very heavy in flavor and texture. And I thought that in many ways that actually represented Mumbai and the city that Mumbai is, a very tough, grungy, huge city that's made up of a hodgepodge of people from all across India and all around the globe, in fact. And the biryani in some ways reflected this. Later still, I went to Delhi in India, of course, and the biryani in Delhi, again, was similar to the Mumbai style, that it was a mixture of different spices and very strong, heavy spices. But the rice was quite light and fluffy, similar to the Karachi biryani. So in some ways that was a nod to Delhi's past as a large Muslim city in the north of India. And then finally I tried Hyderabadi biryani from the city of Hyderabad, of course, in southern India. And that was different again, and in some ways that was very South Indian, because it was so different from the biryani that I had tasted everywhere else. Yet people in Hyderabad often regard their biryani as the best, and the original biryani and the home of biryani in the subcontinent. And I thought that that really well summed up the relationship between South India and North India and the rest of the subcontinent, that they are quietly confident in their own culture. It doesn't big note itself, but it is very confident in itself. Is biryani the national dish of Pakistan? Probably, but it is hard to make that statement when you have India sitting right next door, and biryani was developed by the Muslim court, or the Mughal court in India, but particularly in Delhi, Lucknow and Hyderabad, and these three cities are currently in present-day India. So that should give you some idea about the controversy that surrounds the origin and the actual, I guess, appropriate home for this dish. Now, if you're interested in making biryani, you can check out the link that is on your screen right now. It's my recipe for Biryani Express, and technically it is not a true biryani because it's not layered in the way that biryani should be, but the effect and the flavor is very similar to biryani, and it can be prepared in just 1 hour. So this is the perfect recipe if you've come home from work and you want to put something together that is delicious and even impressive for guests, and but you don't have the hours to spend on it like biryani needs to have. So if you're interested in my Biryani Express recipe, please check out the link that is on your website, on your screen right now. And of course, a shout out to my friend Anna Johnston of Shenanigans. If you'd like to read my article, Journeys in the Land of Biryani, please check out the link on your screen at the moment. And don't forget to pop around the rest of Anna's site over there because it is impressive. And hopefully I should be meeting up with her in a couple of weeks in Canberra. So do stay tuned for that on UrbanDuniya videos. Now, speaking of Hyderabad in southern India, I'm going to leave you now with pictures of Hyderabad from when I was there 3 years ago. I was there for the beginning of the important mourning month of Muharram, which is the first month of the Islamic lunar calendar. It's a month of mourning for many Muslims, particularly Shia Muslims, of which there are many in Hyderabad. The morning of Muharram culminates in the day of Ashura, which is coming up this Saturday. It's actually the 10th day of the Islamic lunar month of Muharram. And this is the day on which the grandson of the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, was brutally murdered along with many of his family and followers in the city of Karbala, which is in modern-day Iraq. I'll go into much more detail about this next Saturday in the Ashura special on UrbanDuniya, here on YouTube, on UrbanDuniya's YouTube channel. And we'll also be taking a look at how Ashura is marked in Melbourne, Lahore, Sydney and Chennai, our 4 cities here at UrbanDuniya. Until then, I will leave you with pictures of the morning of Muharram in Hyderabad in 2012. Thank you for watching.
ये सोचा मैंने किन शहीदों के लिए